Welcome back, everybody. It's Ken. I'm in Barbados, and this is another episode of the No Money Real Estate Podcast. In today's show, I'm going to be responding to a question that a friend of mine, Corey Finney, sent me. And I'm going to just post it up on the screen here so you can see it. He said, how do you build relationships and source products from China? As everybody knows in our company, we are literally procuring most of what we need for all of our portfolio of companies from China. And I have been criticized for doing this. I have been thrown under the bus. People have said I'm a traitor to Canada because I do this. But what you don't know is the vast majority of major corporations. We're talking the biggest hotel chains in the world, the biggest manufacturers in the world, the biggest retailers in the world. Everything you buy in major brands like Home Depot and Walmart, the vast majority of it comes from China. And I'm going to unpack it in this episode and tell you how you can get in on the game.
Hey, my name is Ken, and I'm a real estate investor. I want to welcome you to the No Money Real Estate Podcast. On this show, I'm going to interview elite level real estate investors from all over North America. And I'm going to help you to see one thing that all successful real estate investors have in common. They built their portfolios without using a dime of their own money. I've got a portfolio of $300 million in real estate. That includes resorts, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, and I built the entire portfolio without using a dime of my own money. Real estate is a business that anybody can get into, but the strategies that those tight real estate investors use to build massive portfolios have been kept secret for decades. Now, because of this show, I'm going to reveal them to you. So let's get started.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest revelation I had in this whole procuring from overseas idea that we've started in our company, is that if the Fortune 500 companies of the world, the biggest hotel chains, the biggest retailers, the biggest manufacturers, they all procure internationally. Well, I'll tell you exactly how to do this in China, but I also want to talk to you about some of the other procurement we're doing. So in our portfolio right now, we have 3 resorts that are opening in 2026. We also have a fine dining French restaurant in Whitby, Ontario. We own a company called Canadian Hot Tubs, and we're opening a new retail chain in the next couple months called Cottage Backyards. And all of these companies procure the vast amount of their needs from abroad. Now, I'm gonna say abroad specifically because it's not just China, but if you wanna get into procurement, let me just say this differently. If you wanna get into saving yourself a significant amount of money in your life, then you need to look at every different way you can buy the products and services that you want and optimize what you're paying for them. So let's talk about China. As everybody knows, China is the largest population in the world. Actually, I think it's second to India now, but one of the largest populations in the world. And in mainland China, what they've done over the last 30 or 40 years is they've turned themselves into a manufacturing superpower. So you've heard the old joking songs, every single thing I own was made in Japan. Well, you could literally say, I guarantee you, if we went through everything you have in your house right now, you would see that hundreds of items you have in your house today were actually made in China. I'm looking at a little piece of silverware. I'm staying in a Marriott restaurant down here. Yeah, there you go, made in China. So the cutlery in this hotel, the cup in this hotel, all made in China. So how do you get in on it? The secret weapon to doing anything in China is an app called Alibaba. Now, some of you haven't heard of Alibaba. So a lot of you have, though. We all know about Jack Ma, the guy who created Alibaba in China, but I don't think most people know what it is. When people first hear about Alibaba, they think about Amazon. They compare Alibaba to Amazon. And Amazon is an online retail platform where you can buy goods and services around the world. Alibaba is not an online retail platform. Alibaba is a connector. It's an aggregator. So in China right now, across the country, there are probably 100 companies that make the same thing. There are literally dozens of options. And from China, you can procure things like houses, you can procure vehicles, you can procure furniture, you can procure barbecues, maintenance equipment, you can procure anything that you want. But then the question would be, and the criticism to that would be, how do you ensure you're getting a good quality product? The critics will say that anything that comes from China is inferior quality, so nobody will want to buy it, or it's too risky to do. Well, that's where Alibaba comes in and communications come in. So the very first thing that you want to understand is when you're looking for anything, don't look any further than Alibaba. Now, what happens is this: it doesn't matter what you want to buy. I'll give you a great example. For our Canadian hot tubs company, we make cedar hot tubs. And as we were scaling the company, we were looking for ways to increase profitability to make the business run better. And we found a real bottleneck in our business, and that was in the manufacturing of the actual hot tubs. Before we bought the company, the owners who bought it would actually get all the wooden staves, the individual milled pieces that formed these beautiful cedar hot tubs, made and milled by another company. And it was at significant cost. So we looked at how these staves are actually manufactured, and there's a piece of mechanical equipment called a CNC machine that's used for this. So we started looking at different ways that we could buy our own CNC machine. We talked to every seller of these machines in North America, and we found that the average price somebody was going to charge us was $500,000 for this one machine. But it would allow us to cut our production cost by almost 70% because we could mill the wood. We could buy just the 2x4s and turn it into the beautiful staves that we wanted. But we couldn't afford $500,000. So we went to Alibaba and we started looking around China, and we found 4 different companies that made these CNC machines, and all of them claimed they were already exporting them to North America. So then once we found these companies, inside of the Alibaba app, you have a messaging platform where you can talk directly to the manufacturer. We explained where our business was, what our application was to all of them. We used the exact same messaging chat, the same words and everything. And eventually, through a series of conversations, we found out who actually made the CNC machines that were already being sold in North America. So the company that was trying to sell us a CNC machine for $500,000, we found the company that manufactured it for those people. There were no exclusivity relationships built into that, so we could buy from them directly, and we were buying the same machine for $7,500. Yeah, that's the difference that China makes. So once you start using the Alibaba app properly, you can start communicating with manufacturers, and you don't want to just jump in there and buy your first, deal with your first manufacturer. You want to get to know them. You want to build a relationship with them. And you do that all through the messaging app, and you want to find out who's the best at what they do. I'll give you another example. For Muskoka chairs, or a lot of the viewers in the United States, Adirondack chairs. For the resorts that we're opening this year, we need to procure about 150 Adirondack chairs, Muskoka chairs. When we started looking at wholesalers in Canada, retailers, these chairs cost about $300 for one chair. Now we're talking about the heavy recycled plastic chairs. They're 38 pounds. And those Muskoka chairs, if we found wholesalers that would sell them to us, and they were selling them to us for $200 per chair. Now you got to remember, we needed over 200 of them. So we're talking 200 times 200. You're $40,000, I believe. Let me just double check that. I'll do the math with you right now. Yeah, 40 grand. So we went back and we started talking to the manufacturers in China, and there were literally dozens of them. But we found the manufacturer who makes the chairs and sells them to Canadian Tire and Home Depot. So we knew that that would be a quality manufacturer because they already understood the quality standards for North America. So when you start communicating with these people on the Alibaba app, find out who's already making product for the North American market. They will tell you. Find out who they're selling to, where their products are being sold in North America right now. This way you can go to that manufacturer and you can get a sample yourself before you do anything, and you can confirm that the quality is good. Now here's the other thing I love about procuring from China using Alibaba. Alibaba insures the product and the delivery. So when you pay the manufacturer for your product, you're not paying the manufacturer directly, you're paying Alibaba. And Alibaba holds that money until you're satisfied with the product that you get. So if anything goes wrong, we've had shipping delays where Alibaba gives us part of the money back. And this is another tip I'll give you. If you're gonna get into procurement, always include shipping in the cost. That way, the person who's manufacturing the product for you, the company in China, is responsible for getting the product to you, because things will go wrong. Customs will wanna review the materials. They'll put it into a second stage inspection. They'll have some issues with stuff, they'll lose stuff. But if you use Alibaba directly, never pay the manufacturer directly, use Alibaba directly, they'll insure it. And they make sure if anything goes wrong, they give you your money back and they penalize the manufacturer. Now, you guys have to understand, this is communist China. So Alibaba is connected to the federal government. Each manufacturer is connected to the federal government, and they do not want their reputation as manufacturers soiled in the North American market. So these manufacturers go to incredible lengths to make sure that you get high quality products at amazing prices. The next thing I'll tell you is you should see about a 50% discount if you're buying one of anything. I recently helped a friend of mine buy a zero-turning riding lawnmower. Now we're talking a large-scale lawnmower, a almost commercial-grade riding lawnmower, and it's by a brand name that I won't tell you right now. That lawnmower for him in North America, he was going to pay $30,000 for it. We were able to get him the same lawnmower for $8,000. Now, we could have gotten the price down to $3,000 for him, but you have to order quantity. If you're gonna do this and you're just gonna go buy new furniture for your house or new backyard furniture for your property, understand that if you're just buying a one-off thing, you're probably gonna get about a 50% discount over the North American retail price. But if you wanna get into significant discounts, like 70, 80% discounts, you have to buy quantity. So it might not be something doable for anybody here. Here's the other thing I want to let you know. There are also systems where you can start procuring from other countries. So in opening our restaurants, we wanted to get the best pricing we could for the foods that we are buying for the restaurants. And we knew that using one of the distributors in Canada was going to cost us more. So we went and found the countries where most of the foods are imported from, and we negotiated directly with those manufacturers or those producers. And they're not in China, they're in different countries of the world. So once you really master working with Alibaba and working with China, then you can start using the skills you've learned and start looking into other countries to make your life even better and pay less money. Anyway, I hope this answers your question, and stay tuned. I'll produce some more videos in the future that take you through how procurement actually works.